we have some major breaking news as there has been some major updates on the 2311 and Front Row versus NASCAR lawsuit. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty massive and major breaking news as it has been announced that the judge has officially made their ruling in regards if he is going to delay the transfer of the charter for Front Row or not. And the ruling has come out today. According to Bob Pockers and many other reporters in the industry, here is the judge ruling. No delay in enforcing the requirement that NASCAR approve a charter transfer to Front Row. But as far as SHR transfer to 2311, team has to ask for that again because preliminary injunction request was for Front Row. I believe because 2311 has not yet formally asked for a transfer. Continuing on with an update that Bob had put out a few minutes ago, they would expect the decision to be appealed to U.S. Court of Appeals from NASCAR end as far as whether it can delay approval of Stewart-Haas Racing Charter, the 2311 and Front Row, to either appeal and or file another injunction motion with request the SHR and 2311 transfer. Now, going through that transfer, among other things, basically a couple days ago, we know that basically Judge Kenneth Bell had basically said that he was going to be okay with giving them the preliminary injunction because he had the evidence required to be able to be good to go. They presented evidence with Tyler Reddick. His contract could have easily been broken at the time, had basically at the day on this December 18th, I should say. That was when he had to get the thing approved for the preliminary injunction because it's been 30 days since his contract had been broken on November 18th. Also, drivers like Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson, and also Riley Herbst and Corey Heim, their contracts could have been easily broken as well. That's why he ruled in favor of a preliminary injunction. NASCAR's appeal was a quintessentially say, we're going to let them run every single race in 2025, but we're not going to pay them the charter money. We're going to let them pretty much keep the two charters they have for both organizations so they're not suffering irreparable harm, but we're not going to pay the charter money, and we wanted a requested bond as well. And they wanted it expedited very, very quickly. On Friday, the judge said, we're not going to decide on this till Monday, which again, they've ruled on the decision there. NASCAR going ahead and appealing this, by the way, is not very shocking and very, very surprising, but I don't expect the district court to approve it when they go to the appeal. This is a massive win for 2311 and Front Row, especially Front Row Motorsports, because you know both 2311 and Front Row are looking to expand to three-car operations in 2025. And with the approval of the charter transfer for the SHR transfer to Front Row Motorsports, I would have to think probably after Christmas concludes, because we're 2 days away from Christmas, I would have to think it will be announced that Zane Smith will be confirmed to be joining Front Row Motorsports in 2025, because we know that Zane Smith is expected to get into third front row seat for the 2025 season. This is also a very big loss for NASCAR because now NASCAR, because this court case will continue on going forward, unless of course they do somehow find a way to go ahead and win their appeal, which again, I'm not expecting that they're going to win their appeal because I would have to think, especially with Judge Kenneth Bell calling it a monopoly and a monopsony as well, I would have to think he's going to rule in favor. And NASCAR saying that they were going to suffer irreparable harm last week, I think that could be farther from the truth. And here's why I don't think that's irreparable harm. Do you know what's, to me, irreparable harm for NASCAR is the fact that they had less competitive cars on the racetrack and sold those charters to other things. This is a huge win for the teams, in my opinion. A massive, massive win toward the team's futures, and they'll be able to keep all their drivers and keep everybody around. They'll also be able to continue making their sponsors happy. You won't see Love's Travel Stop leave, who's going to be back in 2025. You're not going to see companies like Monster Energy, who could have left and they were planning to do some sort of sweepstakes down the road because they were looking to do something like that, and they had to delay it because they weren't sure if they were going to be good to go for 2025. Now this court case is going to get proceeded, and it's going to go on going forward, unless, like I said, they go ahead and win their appeal, which I would have to think that their appeal will not be won. Also, with there being no delay out there, those Stewart-Haas Racing transfers can go through, which is a big win for Stewart-Haas Racing as well, because we know at this time the Haas factory team is not going to have the infrastructure to be able to run 3 cars for the 2025 season. They just didn't have the infrastructure. A lot of people from Stewart-Haas Racing who worked at the Haas factory team before it became Haas factory, they're not at the team anymore. Some of them have gone to Joe Gibbs Racing probably. Some of them, of course, have gone to Rich Chills Racing, and they're no longer working there. And then the other big question we kind of have to ask, could we see some teams down the road join the lawsuit? Could we see Rich Troll's Racing join the lawsuit perhaps down the road? We know that Rich Troll's was not very happy with what happened. I'm pretty sure he was the one who told Jordan Bianchi and Jeff Gluck they felt like it was a communist regime. Rick Hendrick was very frustrated with the lawsuit stuff. He was not very happy about that. And could we see other teams join the lawsuit? Because now with this release claims, you could open up the possibility of other teams joining. I would not be surprised if you see I don't think Haas factory team will join because they're going to be able to get their money, but that's big for Stewart-Haas Racing because the value of those charters are going to be accepted. And now both of these teams can be competitive because I think both organizations in 2025 are going to be very, very strong. Tyler Reddick was a championship contender in 2024 and also somewhat in 2023 as well. Bubba Wallace had a very solid year in 2024. He looked like an outside championship contender at times early in the season and unfortunately missed the playoffs, but he had his best season of his Cup career outside of not picking up a win. And then you've got Riley Herbst joining the team, who's bringing a lot of sponsorship to the table, who had a pretty solid year in Xfinity competition. Unfortunately, got eliminated in the round of 12, but he still had a pretty solid year, picking up 2 victories, including a very dominant win at Phoenix. And then, of course, you had basically the front row guys of Noah Gragson, who had a solid year at Stewart-Haas Racing. You, of course, had other people that go into the team like Todd Gillen, who had a career year, who will have Chris Lawson joining up next year. And then, like I said, you'll have Zane Smith most likely joining this program in 2025. This is a massive win for the teams and is a huge Christmas present for the teams as well. Again, we do know some of the updates. We know the trial is likely going to take place late in 2025. We also do know, of course, other things are going to be happening, like they want to go to Discovery and have that done in late July to August as well. And there's other things that they want to be able to have done with this case going forward into the future. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as the lawsuit does go through. But the fact that the judge basically said, no, we're not letting you delay, this tells us that NASCAR is in a very difficult position, and I think it's becoming much more difficult for NASCAR to win the lawsuit than the teams at this point. I think the teams have the upper hand advantage, and NASCAR's scared. They don't want to get to the discovery phase. Why? Because they don't want to open up their books. It's a big thing they don't want to do. They don't want to open up their books. They don't want to show their finances. That's what they don't want to do, because I think a lot of things are going to get discovered in that. They're going to be very shady, and there's going to be a lot of shady business practices that are going to be discovered on that front. The appeal probably will be heard after Christmas, most likely, and that could be a major day as well as time will go on. Again, a massive win for the teams for 23-11 and front row. This also could potentially lead to Mark Truex Jr. making a run to Daytona 500 with 23-11, which I think is big as well. As more information comes out on this story, we'll continue to cover here on the channel. There's a lot of updates I expect to be coming very, very soon. So that is going to be today's special breaking news on the 2011 and Front Row Motorsports lawsuit update. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. Who do you think is going to win the lawsuit overall? Let me your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, I'll be talking about 10 drivers who could join the Cup Series in 2026. Then on Wednesday, there will not be videos since it's Christmas. I do want to wish you all a very happy Christmas very early. Then on Thursday, I may have a NASCAR news video dropping on everything. If not, that will come on Friday. There may be 2 news videos on Friday, perhaps. Thursday, if that's the case, we'll do the driver rankings, where I think everyone's going to finish in the standings in 2025. With this being updated, there'll probably be more information on that. And over the weekend, we'll have videos on people like Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Shane Van Gisbergen, Haley Deegan, Kyle Busch, you name it. Also, Bubba Wallace, lawsuits, Michael Jordan, Connor Zilish, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, all this stuff will be coming very, very soon as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.